Ruben, felt like best chances in the first half, best chances in the second half, best chances in extra time, and you still don't win the game. It must feel incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, it was tough, and everybody saw it that the players gave everything. We understood the game. Sometimes we drop a little bit the lines to stay compact, but we were. I think that the team was closer to the goal than the opponent. But in the end, we went to penalties, and penalties can go both ways. And today was not our day.
I think front to back it looked like everybody was on the same page, everybody was fighting together. We see more of that team spirit that seems to get stronger every week. Can you see that too?
Yeah, and I can see that in the first 35 minutes we play well with the ball. More possession, more confidence, finding the right spaces. There is a lot to improve, but you can feel that the team is more confident in playing better. But it's tough to deal with the losses, but we have to continue to the next competition.
It's even more difficult, I suppose, because of how many injuries that you've got and not having an awful lot of ways to change from the bench because you haven't got that many options available.
We need to focus that, and the important thing is that with our players on the bench, the team was closer to score more than one time, and so that is the most important thing to focus on the game, and we were there. So I don't want to use that excuse about injuries. We were there with the players that we have. Shido, great movement. There's a lot to improve. A little bit naive, but the movements inside the box was a good day for him. Not a good day for the team, but very important day for Shido, for example.
And just finally, how important is recovery now ahead of Thursday?
Yeah, now it's just recover, play Thursday, and then recover, play Sunday. That's it. We need to cope with all the competitions.
Ruben.
Manchester United crash out of the FA Cup on penalties. It was a spirited display for much of a game which lacked a bit of quality from both sides, but in the end we went down to the lottery of a shootout, and this time it was Fulham who were victorious. And former defenders Wes Brown and Phil Barsley watching it with me, wherever you've been watching the game, probably feeling gutted like we are. Wes, effort, the work rate, what they tried to do to not just get back into the game after trailing by a goal to nil, but then to try and win it. Was it ultimately maybe just a bit of a lack of quality which has undone us today, and a shortage of players with all the injuries and a threadbare subs bench?
Yeah, well, listen, we got back into the game like you said, Sully, and it was still a tough match. It was pretty open for both teams. We had a few chances, they had a few, and ultimately it goes to penalties. And penalties, it's anyone's game, and we just couldn't quite get over the line. And it's disappointing to be out, because I think we definitely had the chances there maybe to score another goal. But again, we can do better. I think as a team we can do better, and it was a difficult game today, and we just couldn't get over that line in the penalties.
I mean, you cannot blame Victor Lindelof, who missed his spot kick, or Joshua Zirkzee, who also missed, and that goes to show things can happen in football. Joshua Zirkzee got the winner from the spot against Arsenal in that shootout, and he's missed today. Still got a great ovation from the Stretford end as he walked off to give him some support. You just cannot blame the penalty takers. It's just one of those things.
No, absolutely. Players obviously got the minerals to step up and take a penalty. It's what they do. Obviously, you got a defender stepping up there. Unfortunately for Vic, it wasn't to be. But as Wes said there, things happen in a penalty shootout. Listen, it's 50-50. Going into today, I was quite confident, to be fair. I felt we had enough on the pitch to win the football match. I thought we had chances, especially second half. Obviously, Chibo's come in, had a couple of chances. I thought he looked sharp when he did come on. But you're asking a lot for young players to come into a game like this. Like I say, we had the chance. It was just unfortunate not to get over the line. But like I say, penalty shootout, it's anyone's game.
I'm a little bit concerned. We'll ask the manager about it. He may not know too much about the injury situation, but you saw Harry come off at the end. Looked like potentially he was holding his calf area. We'll have to see about that. There will be some bumps and bruises after that gruelling 120 minutes, and we've got a huge game in the Europa League coming up.
Yeah, listen, it's another tough game for us. 120 minutes plus penalties. It's a hard graft for the boys, and I think something we don't need is another injury. So obviously I'm sure they'll be looking at that now and seeing how he is, but hopefully he's fine, because he will be needed now for the next few games going ahead.
In terms of the game in midweek, we were looking at Real Sociedad's result today. They were playing Barcelona away today, and they got a man sent off after 17 minutes and lost 4-0 to the Catalans. So, Sociedad, they've had a gruelling match themselves, playing the majority of it, over 70 minutes with 10.
Yeah, of course, it's never easy. Like we suffered on against Ipswich with 10 men. But I think we need to focus on ourselves. Obviously, we've got a bit of a patched up squad at the minute. We're missing, obviously, key members of the squad. We've got a few injuries. Hopefully, like you say, Harris is not too serious, because he's a key member of the team. So I think the manager will address it after the game. Obviously, wrap a few in cotton wool, I think, Wes, won't he? And obviously get the troops right for, obviously, Thursday night.
Have you been both ends of a penalty shootout? I remember you winning penalties most famously in Moscow. Have you suffered a penalty shootout defeat?
Yeah, we've lost as well. FA Cup finals. So
2005 against Arsenal, we lost on spot
you
kicks.
just get on with it. It's disappointing. Anything can happen. Penalty shootouts is what it is. I've seen some of the best players in the world miss penalties. So you don't take any blame in that sense. You've got to look at the full 90 or 120 minutes and think about that, and work out why you couldn't win the game there. Penalties is penalties, and it's part of the game in the FA Cup, so you just have to deal with it. Yeah,
we did see Chido get minutes, and Aidan Heaven get on the pitch. He replaced Harry Maguire. And he showed some good moments, the young defender.
Yeah, we was talking while he was playing. For a young player, his positional sense was outstanding. Got some really good clearances. And listen, if you're a young player at Man United now, you've got to make sure you're ready, because there's chances, there's opportunities. The manager's not afraid to throw you in. And listen, they both played the part today. Chibo obviously could have had a couple of goals, and Haven obviously some outstanding defending. So listen, they have to, obviously when they go with the first team, make sure they train well, train as hard as they can, and make an impact. And as we've seen tonight, the manager will give you an opportunity to play. He's not scared of that.
No, I mean, we were almost shouting for a penalty towards the end of regular times. Remember, Chido Obi got into a bit of a tussle, just flashed a shot across, desperately wanted to score, and we stood up, didn't we, thinking it was going to be a winning goal. Had he gone down, it might have asked a question. Yeah, maybe, but listen, he's just thinking about the goal.
It's one of this as a young lad. We know what he can do from the under-23s, and he'll get more opportunities. And at times he could have been a little bit calmer, but you can't fault him. He was in some good spaces. He did some good play. Good strength at times as well. And you're just looking to him to progress now, for future games. The goal we conceded, a set piece again, it's been a bit of an Achilles heel for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit poor again, soft in defending. I think obviously the first contact, sometimes you can't do anything about the first one, but the second one you have to make sure you're picking men up. And there's far too many times this season where we've been caught in set piece areas, whether it's from corners or free kicks. And it's funny because obviously before the game we do a lot of work. Obviously we're in the warm up and doing the set pieces and stuff, and we just can't put it into practice, into games. I think over the course of a season we've probably conceded far too many goals from them situations.
Our goal was scored by Bruno. You dread to think where we'd be without our talismanic captain, because he was everywhere again tonight. I'm just so impressed with his stamina, his fitness levels. Yeah, I think we know about his fitness. His top end of the scale. He gets himself about it, gets us a goal. He does put in great performances, and today it was tough at times, I think, for everyone. When we couldn't get the ball moving, we couldn't really get it up the pitch. I think Garnacho changed it a little bit as well. He got at people a bit, didn't he?
Touching on that, I think Casemiro brought a bit of calmness when he come on as well. Just find a little pass and touch and find a bit of people talk about his legs and stuff like that, but he's got an intelligent brain and he knows when to calm it down and speed the play up. And I thought he was good today when he come on. Ultimately, though, what do you think will be the message to the players from the head coach in there? Listen, it is what it is. I think when it goes to penalties, anything can happen. You've somehow, you've got to remember it, but you've got to put it straight back behind you. We have a very important game in Europa on Thursday, and you've got to be 100% concentrating on that now. You can look tonight what you maybe could have done better, and that's the point. You try and improve something.
You might watch this game, see what you could have done better, and you make sure you do it better.
Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has admitted that he has to be ruthless with the players at the club ahead of a summer clear-out. United have endured a miserable season, with Amorim having found it difficult to improve the team's fortunes since his appointment in November. Amorim's side are languishing in 14th place in the Premier League, although they are still active in the FA Cup and the Europa League. Midfielder Casemiro is a potential candidate to leave, while Marcus Rashford, who is on loan at Aston Villa, could depart permanently. Forwards Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee also face uncertain futures. Amorim said, "I don't like to be like that just to show strength." Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has admitted he needs to be ruthless with his players. Midfielder Casemiro is a potential candidate to leave United in the summer transfer window. Forwards Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee have found it difficult to meet expectations. Marcus Rashford, who is on loan at Aston Villa, could depart United permanently if the team is trying, and I understand that they are trying but they cannot do it. I am not ruthless, but when I feel that it is something which is going to harm the team, then I am quite ruthless. Amorim admitted that some United players are already aware that they will have to leave the club. He said, "Everybody understands that in football sometimes you stay, sometimes you have to move on. If I know how to explain it, I will do so because I like to be clear. I was a player and like to use that experience. When you are honest with someone, they can take it. In the beginning maybe it is hard, but they will understand. I'm quite honest with my players and sometimes they know they have to move on at the end of the season. We can talk about that in the end. Now there are still a lot of games to play. But that is clear and not a difficult situation. Despite their struggles this campaign, there is still a possibility that United could secure some silverware." On Sunday, Amorim's team are in FA Cup action when they host Fulham. Ruben Amorim reveals why Antony struggled at Man United and the reason behind Brazilian winger doing much better with Real Betis in La Liga. Ruben Amorim has revealed why Antony struggled at Manchester United and the reason he's doing much better in La Liga. The Brazilian has been an instant hit at Real Betis, scoring 3 goals in his first 7 matches while also providing 2 assists. Antony's recent form has been in stark contrast to his miserable spell in Manchester following an €85 million move from Ajax in 2022. He scored just 12 goals in 96 appearances for the Red Devils, and Amorim believes there's one key factor that contributed to winger's struggles in the Premier League. When you play against any team in England, the physicality is there. If you don't have physicality, you will struggle a lot, the United boss told Rio Ferdinand for TNT Sports. Antony is so much better now in Spain. It's because of a lot of factors, but I guarantee you it's physicality. Ruben Amorim has revealed why Antony struggled in the Premier League. The Brazilian has been an instant hit at Real Betis, scoring 3 goals in 7 matches. Antony's recent form has been in stark contrast to his miserable spell in Manchester. Antony recently opened up on his renewed energy since making the switch to Spain. "I've had a great time in Manchester too. I won 2 titles and am very grateful," he told Spanish outlet AS. "But when I say that I've found myself here, I'm happy. The people are like us in Brazil. The sun helps a lot. I'm very happy here. I wake up every day with a smile and that's very important. I have a lot of friends who played here and they left me very calm so that I could sign here. I was sure in my heart that coming here was the best decision for me. I hope to continue like this." As part of their loan agreement with United, Betis have agreed to cover a large portion of his salary, which is in excess of €100,000 per week. Betis have already made it clear that they are open to keeping Antony on a permanent deal, while United will now be looking to recoup a portion of the sum they spent to sign him in 2022.